In previous video, I explained how you can create a test. So now we have created the test. The name of the test was tutorial test. So I want to assign this test to the any class of the student. So I go to here again, the tests. So you can see here in the test list I have tutorial test. So I click on that one. When I click on that, I can edit this test. I can add the question, I can change the points for each question. Whatever we have done, you can also edit that one. But I want to assign it to the student. So I click on the assign. So select the options. You can assign it via group or via link. Obviously you have to assign it via group. So I click here, assign to the group. So here the list of the groups which I have is coming. So I'm teaching for grade 9 and 10 A and D sections. So I can assign this state to any of these groups. For example, suppose I want to assign these states to 10A and 10D. Okay. Then at the bottom it says pre-test setting. You should do some setting for your test. For each test you have its specific setting. So click here next to set the options for your exam. Okay, so when you click that one, at the top you can see your test name, the assigned group. So this test is for grade 10A, 10D. Note the test access. When you click on here, you have two options. You should click unavailable here for option 1. So you should go to the option 2. Okay, in option 2, make sure that your time zone is Abu Dhabi. Here on these boxes, you must put the date which the exam will be available for the student. So it is your exam date. Suppose this test is taken on 15th of the May, so I have choose the 15th of the May. The exam starts at 12:35 p.m. So I put 12:35 p.m. and the exam is available until, so I have to also mention that how long the exam is available for the student to start it. Okay, suppose I said the student can start the exam from 12:35 to 1:35 for 1 hours. Okay, then on the bottom you have two boxes. On the first box it says show the test and results when unavailable. If you check this box, when the student done their exam, even if the time of the exam is out of this available date of the test, they can see the results. So they can see what they got wrong and what is the correct answer for any specific question. So it's not a good idea to allow the student to see what is the correct answer when the test is not available, because maybe some of the students finish the exams earlier than the other students. If this box is checked, when they saw the answer, they can send the correct answer to the other students. So make sure that this box is unchecked. Okay, one more thing that I have to add here, the time which we put here from 12:35 to 1:35 is not the exam time. It's the time which the students can start their exams within this time period. So if, for example, a student starts exactly at 12:35 p.m. and it takes only 25 minutes for the students to finish the exam, he will finish the exams at 1 o'clock. Okay, so then when he submit the exam, still he can see the answer of the questions, because this exam is available from 12:35 to 1:35. So it's better to limit the time which is available for the student to start the exam. For example, from 12:35 until 12:45. Within this time they have to start the exam. So if any student wants to start the exam after 12:55, the exam will not be available for him, and they cannot start the exam, or they cannot do the exam. But to see how the result appears for the student, if they submit within the availability date and time, I adjust the time from 12:35 to 1:35 p.m. And this one says can resume when unavailable. Of course, this one should be unchecked because when the test is not available, when the time of the test is up, they should not be able to do the test. Here on the number of the attempts, you can assign how many times the student can do the exam. So of course the final exam they can only do once, so check the one option here. Then it says test introduction. Do you need to add instruction to the test? So it's better to be yes, display the guideline before the test starts. So before the test starts, on the first page it shows that how many questions are there, how long would be the exam, and what is the passing mark. So it's better to have this information for the student. It's like the heading in the paper exam. Then you have to assign how long should be the test. For example, for this specific test, I write 20 minutes is enough for the test. Don't give long or extra time for the student, because if you give them the extra time, they will have time to go to the other website and check the answer for the questions. Can they resume it later? So you can allow them to save and resume it later, but the final exam they have to do it once they started, so I uncheck this option. On the next option, you can select how your exam should be shown here. So you can, for example, show 1 question per page, 2 questions per page, and so on. So I prefer to show only 1 question per page. Okay, so then if you want the student to see the point for each question, you have to check this box. So I want the student know what is the mark of any question, so I check this one. And here it shows the category of the question, which is not necessary. On the next option, the randomize, you can check this one. If you check this one, the question would be random for any student. So all of the students have the same questions, but the question 1 for the student A would be different from question 1 for the student B. Okay, so they are randomly the question assigned to each student. Again, I suggest to check this box because the questions are randomized and it also decreases the chance of the cheating for the student. Okay, here if you check this one, the student must answer the question to be able to submit their exam. But if you uncheck this one, even if the student has not answered any of the questions, they can submit their exam. Okay, uncheck this one because if you check this one, when the student submitted the test, they can immediately see the result of their test for any question. The change answer, this one must be ticked because maybe later on the student wants to come back to any question and they want to change the answer of the question before submitting the exam. So make sure that this box is checked so the students are allowed to go back to any question during the test and change their answer or edit their answer. And the last option is for a spell check. If you want to allow the student to spell check automatically by the website or by the browser, you have to click here. But for the English exams, because they should not be able to check their spelling automatically, maybe you want to uncheck this box. So here I prefer to the browser to check for the spelling and to suggest the correct spelling to the student. So now I have finished all of these settings for the exam. I can assign the test to the student. So here I click assign to assign the test to the student. Okay, now it's finished and the test is assigned to the student. So here you can see you have tutorial test for grade 10 and grade D. So if you go to the test and you click here, okay, here you can see the tutorial test is assigned 2 items. It's assigned to grade 10A and it's assigned to grade 10D.